Alrighty, this is the analysis for the position 5 Ogre. I'm going to try and do the entire game in one go from the perspective of each player to try and do an absolute in-depth look at everything that happened in the game, everything that could have been different. Alright, starting items, 2 tangos. You didn't give any to mid, that's weird. Sav, 3 bangos, excellent. Clarity, okay, fine. In the Iron Branch. Expect the branches going in the wand as usual. And so I really like this. I like the mangoes. You're getting the extra health regen passively while you don't need them. And okay, looks like you're going to give some tangos away. That's good. That's even better, actually. That's fantastic. You don't have a ward. Where is your team's other ward? Does Clockwork have it? Okay, this is a mistake. I don't know what Clock is going to do with this ward right now, but whatever happens here, that's not the best use of your ward. You guys have been having a terrible time in the safe lane. Your P1 is having poor game early on, doesn't farm well, doesn't outfarm the enemy, and so you need to be blocking the hard camp. So yeah, you guys got to this area way too late. You should have already blocked the hard camp with an observer ward, and you would have seen this rotation in. Now Terrorblade's out of position. He's going to get bullied out. They got, this whole party of 3 coming in with the wolves. You're not going to get shit. Clockwork put a deep courier snipe ward. Okay, we'll talk about that on his replay analysis, but that's bad. Okay, so Jakiro clearly just did something there. There's no reason for Jakiro to do that little zigzag right there. You can actually see that ward. That's he fucked up. Okay, so that observer or that sentry ward is in vision of the shrine, so you can walk over there and pop that easy. You don't even need to call out a sentry ward for that one. Whatever you're doing here on the bottom, though, this is a mistake. Every time. I don't know why, but the 2 of you guys love to sit behind this tier 1 tower before the game starts. And for some reason, you just decide that we're just going to hang out here like this is the party area before, the game gets kicked off at like the 1 minute mark. I don't understand why that is. You guys shouldn't be hiding in this area unless you're getting chased down by the other 2 heroes. And you're doing nothing. You see nothing. You're not going to reward that sentry that's over here for free because it's in fucking range of the shrine. And so this is game losing. Like, this is Herald 1 level play. You guys should not be just hanging out like it's an MMORPG and you're waiting for the other members of your party to connect to the server or something. Like, this makes no sense at all. So what I would do is, okay, back. You need to keep vision of them. So even though, you saw 3 heroes on this side and they were looking like they were going to come down and gank, you need to be on the other side of the tree line or kind of around this corner to kind of peek at them and get some vision. You don't want to just sit there and hide behind the tower and then stand there. You don't know how long Invoker stayed. You don't know if he's already left and it's safe to come back out and harass again. You don't know if Jakiro dropped a ward right here in this corner. There's a lot of information you're losing. So you definitely want to not just stay AFK in the beginning of the game. Even if you see 3 heroes and they're going to out-contest you for the rune, run back uphill. Stay on this plateau up here, spread out. One guy go for the tower, one guy run the other way. That way you still get some vision. They're not going to tier 1 dive you at the tower at level 1 before the runes. So that was a good body block for this camp. I wish it was an observer ward instead, but, circumstances being what they are, that's the best you could do, and that worked out. You really need to go back and check your small camp, though. So, it's good that you're harassing here. Terrorblade's in a great spot. He's probably farming okay. This is an optimistic dive. You threw the ignite, you need to then go back to train with Jakiro. There's no reason to run in the wave like that. Like, you just made this wave worse by getting in the middle of it, and now you're just sapping half of Terrorblade's XP. Like, I don't know what you're doing here. Maybe if you'd secured a last hit or deny he wasn't going to get, that's fine. But you need to check this the small camp. There's a sentry right there that I saw him put down, and you saw too. It's in vision of the outpost. So it's a free D ward, but you just have to walk over and get it. You've already missed 1 small cap, so you should be pulling pretty soon here because this wave is about to go towards the enemy here. You're going to lose control of that, and you want to either stack or pull. Preferably just stack the small camp for now. Wait till the equilibrium gets worse, and then you can pull into a double stack small and not lose anything. But really standing here on the side, just kind of dodging in and out and throwing the occasional spell, this is not great. So you're tankier than the Jakiro. Jakiro trades well, but you're doing better than he is. You have 3 mangoes, a Sav, all your tangos. You need to get up there. You Okay, so you put down the sentry to try and de-ward what you thought was probably a good observer spot, and that's fine. I agree with that. You needed to block the camp with it, though. There's no reason to put it here instead of here. Like, the distance between these two spots right here is absolutely nothing. So, you know, if you had put this ward right here on the edge of that camp, you block the next pull on this one, and you still get to see, you know, basically the same area. Because if the observer ward is going to see, or sentry is going to see an observer down here, being right here, it would have still caught it. You know, it's basically the same thing. So now you're just making it harder for you to catch anything. And you really want to be pulling now. So this is when you want to be at the small camp, and you want to be pulling this one down. If you pull this out diagonally, that's fine too. But really your place of duty was right here to pull into this small wave. So you missed that one pretty big time. Looks like Terrorblade is going to pull for you diagonally, which means there's still no reason for you to be in this area. Like, that's great. Okay, wow. So he missed it. He just stood there instead of baiting the aggro. So you did stack it, which is kind of nice, but deny this. That's easy deny. Okay, nope. And now you missed the wave. So now, again, same thing. Your place of duty is back here in the small camp. This is not your job. You're not doing anything P5 supportish right now. You're throwing an occasional harass, and you're playing like that pudge that everyone likes to report. You need to be over on the small camp, and you need to be pulling it right now. There's no value in you walking these creeps out this way. You're not at a stack timer. There's no wave coming here. The wave is back here, and you should have been pulling the small camp down, or at least realizing, hey, shit, there's no small camp in the fucking box. I have to de-ward. Or at least walk around, you know, this area so you can see that very free sentry that you don't even need to, you know, spend any money to kill. But right now, you're doing nothing. This diagonal pull might be okay, but they're probably going to contest. Looks like Jakiro's trying. Okay, so Jakiro's late, so you do get the pull because Jakiro wasn't paying attention, but they're still going to get this XP. They're so close. This is a good dive. I don't know why you needed to eat 2 mangoes there. That was a waste. You must have spam clicked that. You need to turn around sooner, though. You saw he was dead. There's no reason to continue chasing. Stun. You need to stun immediately to save your carry. Okay, that's a little better. He needs to TP. You just keep chasing. He decides to walk back instead of TPing out. Okay, whatever. Well, if you had a chance to live, it was in the TP, but now it's not happening. You're taking way too many hits from these creeps. You need to turn around and get that last hit before you lose it completely. Yeah, you're not going to get him now. There you go. Okay, no, Beastmaster's back. You need to run. You don't have that. That last hit on that stupid wolf is not worth your life. As soon as you saw Beastmaster coming up, you need to back out. And I don't know if your camera angle was off, because I kind of had a weird angle on you myself. But, yeah, that stun is bad. You get the last hit. And then, okay, there's Beastmaster, you need to leave. And now you're staying too long and you're dead. Yeah, so don't go for that wolf, just go back and heal. You could have ate some of those tangos or sad and stayed in lane, and you would have just missed one creep. Just terrible. It's now 4 minutes in, and I don't think you still don't even know that your small camp is blocked, and that's terrible. So not only do you have no idea that it's blocked, you haven't even tried to pull, or you've walked nowhere near your small camp at this point. So you have no idea that you've lost the entire laning stage already, because half the P5 game is controlling the creep equilibrium and the small camp, and things like that. That's nice. You picked up a salve for your buddy. You probably should have had one earlier. You didn't have one? No, okay. Rushing stats. You had a salve, but unfortunately he was just so committed at that point for the Beastmaster who was already dead that you guys kind of got dragged out of position. Alright, so Jakiro's going to get both runes. You guys don't get either one, and there's too many creeps you can't even harass here. You really need to go clear that fucking small camp. Okay, it's good you brought the creep back, and so it aggroed back over here, but you need to go get that creep camp out of the way. Alright, so your camera's weird. You bought some more sentries or something. Yeah, like you don't even know yet. You haven't even clicked on this camp box. Okay, now you're going to check. And yeah, now you're surprised. At 5:30, you just realize that you've been screwed this whole time. Because now you're not going to get it until like the 7-minute pull. That's nice you get a free hawk, but whatever. Don't finish it right here. He's gonna deny this on you. Okay, so when the Jakiro walks up, like the hawk can't go anywhere. It's not moving. Your sentry's not going anywhere either, because he's not going to de-ward your sentry with a sentry. Like, that's a complete waste of his money. So you gave him the oh, there you go. You saw the fucking sentry. Go kill that. You gave him the hawk last hit deny for no reason. You should have waited until Jakiro was pushed back out of the lane and then started hitting the hawk. But you basically just got it all the way down to where he could perfectly one-shot it himself, which is crazy. Okay, see, and now you're using this sentry to block the camp when you could have used this sentry or that observer ward. Like, this is the third ward you put in that area to do the same thing. Okay, you're just totally dead here. Yeah, throw your spells, and no, don't use your stick. Okay, so when you're more than dead, like, you are absolutely dead there. You're, like, super dead. Like, there's no way you're getting out of that. You know, with all the spells and the stuns and disables that they have, and all the damage they were throwing on you, you know, there's no way you were getting away. Even if you walked into tower range, they would have dived you just a little bit to get the kill. You wasted 6 stick charges, which is a lot, for absolutely no reason. And later on, you could be trading with the Jakiro, and, you know, that extra was at 180, 190 life and mana would have been really helpful for you to trade well, but now you're back to 0 for no reason. So you really got to be careful about wasting stick charges on a gank where you are absolutely dead and the stick can't help you at all. Alright. This is a bad spot. Your Terrorblade is way too low. He needs to walk out and heal. I don't know what he's doing, but this is terrible. You need a stun? Oh, you don't have it. Wow. It's fucked up. Okay. So that was really bad. Terrorblade keeps standing in the fire. This gank attempt is late. I don't think he catches him. Yeah, you don't have a stun, right? Oh, well, you don't have stick charges. See, that's a good example. If you had kept your stick charges from the last gank, you would have had the mana for the stun, and then your OD would have at least turned, you know, that kill around to one thing. Or at least a one turnaround kill for your, yeah, you gotta work on that last hitting. That was a freebie. But this way, Terrorblade basically died for nothing. And you still haven't done anything with your small camp. Like, in 8 minutes, there has not been a single small camp D-ward, well, one D-ward, stacker pull. Like, you've got to pull this. This is crazy. Okay, so don't pull this way because there's a siege creep here and you don't want the siege creep to start hitting your tower. But Jakiro's missing, you need to pressure. This is a good time. Yep, that's good. Throw the ignite. That's great. And then stay close so that if Jakiro continues to be gone or show elsewhere on the map, you can then continue to hit that Beastmaster. Beast is 6, well before I'm sure Terrorblade is, so that's really bad. This is getting kind of dangerous for him. Beast will either go somewhere else to gank a more valuable target, because Terrorblade is really just a creep at this point, or he may just do it to fuck over your Terrorblade even more. Yeah, like right now it looks like Terrorblade's dead for the 100th time. He's just walking away, slow motion, despite having like 3 sources of slow on him. So you guys got to read the lane too. So Jakiro has a slow, Beastmaster's Boar has a slow, Beastmaster's Axes are fucking you up. Like, what is the combined slow? That's crazy. Let's just stack damage. This is where is the? This is the movement slow. 36%. Beastmasters. Which one is it? This one. 40%. Yeah, that's just unbearable. Like, you guys can't even play into that at all. Still doesn't have 6. Backpack the salve. Extra iron branches being wasted. Really wish he'd stop buying those and then just not do anything with them. Especially if he's going to spend all of his money to buy out Wraith Bands, but that'll be in his replay. Okay, that's good. You know, boost him up, let him go farm, and then you basically have to just sit here and, yeah, you got to run away. You can't even stand next to him. You can't even take this boar. Oh, okay, taking the D-ward. Yeah, I didn't think you were going to do it in time. But yeah, you can't even play around the Beastmaster now. He is way more powerful than either of you guys, and that's terrible. Because that lane shouldn't have gone quite that badly. And that lane was a complete loss just because of the small camp. You know, everything else aside, you know, not how you played or the Jakiro played in lane as far as harass, but just the small camp loss was enough to basically cost you the entire thing. Okay, so you got like 3 people behind you. This is optimistic. Like, if you get that, maybe it's worth your life, but that's not great. You don't have a TP scroll. Okay, well, poor people. Space created or something, right? What are you going for? So you bought the magic wand, and you do like to complete it early. You know, you're never getting past 10 charges. Like, you always cast it too early, so you're not getting this up to 20 charges. That's not going to happen until like the 15-20 minute mark. So I would probably save some gold for other things, but you also have plenty of other things that you haven't got to use. You got all your tangos, or you've only used 1 tango despite getting crushed, you know, so many times. You're up to 4 deaths now, but somehow you've only used 3 tangos in lane. That's just weird. You have Sav, despite dying 3 times. These items are good. So the Arcane Boots and Force Staff, Force Staff would be better if it was a Glimmer Cape, but I don't think Clock is going to go Force Staff early. So really, you should be getting the Glimmer Cape, and then Clockwork should be getting the first Force Staff, and then you get the second Force Staff, but it's not terrible. And because the Clock isn't going for a Force, it is better that you switched. You shouldn't have even tried to defend that tower, though. This tower is more than gone. That was indefensible unless you guys brought, like, the entire team. So there's no reason for you to even TP behind at that point. You might as well go to try and help, you know, the Clockwork or someone else gank, as opposed to just TPing into the trees behind that tier 1 and dying. Defending the tier 2 is good, though. This is definitely a good point to come out. So you should run out here and try and, you know, ignite and fire blast the siege creep. Okay, now what are you leaving for? You need to run over here and defend this tower. You're about to lose half your fucking tier 2 for nothing at 11 minutes. It's really bad. Definitely want to defend this. It's good use of the Bloodlust on the tower, not yourself. Sometimes you don't do that, so that is better. You gotta work on those last hits. Those are freebies. You're missing a lot of freebie last hits that are uncontested. You gotta work on that, like the animation canceling that, you know, I complained at everybody else for doing too much, actually, where they start to attack a creep and then just spam their S key because it looks cool to try and get the perfect timing, but it might actually help you with that. You need to get in there and stun. You need to stun. I don't know why you're waiting behind. You need to stun and then give your speed. Okay, now you're body blocking your OD. That's not good. Clock is way too far behind. Like this is a defensive play. I don't know why Clock went in offensively like that, but that was bad. So your stun was a little late, but that fight goes poorly either way. Like even if you had stunned earlier, that was still, you know, rough for you guys. They had 4 heroes. You guys sort of had 4, but it was much more spread out. The OD got there a little later. Clock dove in the back lines, even though Clock doesn't have the stuff for back lines. And of course, Terrorblade isn't going to respond to that. So go for that. There you go. You got 2 free Hawks. That's nice. Let's see. Region. Go buff the tower. Okay, well, so I think you buffed the Tide Hunter instead of the tower, but it got the tower anyway as part of the multicast random proc, so that's good. But try and select the tower in a case like that. The Tide Hunter's right clicks aren't as valuable as like an extra 3 or 4 right clicks from the tower. So now, like, all of you guys are playing the top lane because you lost bottom, which works out somehow. Even though Terrorblade has no defensive vision in bot, so he's jungling in a very dangerous area. But you know, if this works out for a tier 1, that's okay. Yeah, see, this is like the 3rd time you guys have been caught out on this side. OD got a good kill on what's happening here. Okay, you taking that stun, not necessary. You got to use your salve on that Tide Hunter as he's running away. Oh, and did he blink out of that? That's really good. If OD blinked out and saved his life from the zoo, that's impressive. Yeah. Alright, good stuff. Yeah, this would have been a good time in this little lull where Tide was in this area. You could have sapped him. It's a little late now, and you guys are... This is not a good dive. I don't know why you guys are doing this, but this is terrible. You guys need to get the fuck out or leave the Clockwork. You chasing the Clockwork into his doom is even worse. So when the Clockwork fucks up and does something dumb like that, you just have to let him die. Because now are you gonna get out? That's interesting. Okay, you might not have gotten out there. So I was lucky that worked out. Because you guys dove hard, and I expected a full rotation from everyone on their team there. And Clock was definitely dead, and I'm kind of surprised you got out. And you really need to let him die there, too. You know, you don't have a Terrorblade behind. If you had Terrorblade going into meta and he was right-clicking the Tier 1 tower as you guys were diving, that would have worked out nicely. But that didn't happen, and it was just a Tide Hunter with no health, no mana, and a Clockworth that's, you know, the Clock is a little under-leveled. You know, doesn't have a lot of good stuff. What's the Clockwork going for? I think he went Tranquil's Wand. He's going Blade Mail first. That's terrible. He's not the primary tank. He's not even the secondary tank. But okay, whatever. What's his HP pool? 1200? Yeah, Blade Mail's not gonna work. Whose fucking tangos are these? If those are yours, you need to pick them back up, and if those are the enemies, you need to deny them. Like, look at this. Terrorblade fucking needs some extra tangos. He's doing such a bad job in the jungle here. Fucking jungle creeps are knocking him down to half. You should go pick up those tangos if those are one of your alls and you just sold it to, you know, make up space at the shop. Buff the tower. Oh, you already used your buff. So this isn't bad. You know, I would aggro the hero. So in a spot like this, you can run up, aggro the hero just like you're doing in a wave, and the creeps will leave the tower and start running towards you. So you can pull these creeps off the tower. And it doesn't help a whole lot because obviously Beastmaster's still going to hit the tower, but at least all of these other creeps that are in the neutral wave or the AI wave won't. And it helps a little bit. So you definitely need to figure out how to aggro these creeps off the tower while they're doing that. And it's just run up to the wave, click on the hero like you're going to attack him, and then run away. Just like you're pulling aggro in the middle of the lane. Tidehunter's way late, there's no return. He TP's in with no fucking mana for Reg. I mean, I guess he could Soul Ring, but that's weird. Yeah, this is going really poorly for you guys. You need more vision, and you need to start looking for a smoke. You should be controlling the movements of the OD and the clock, and Ogre, OD, Clock need to be looking for ganks, while Terrorblade farms the safe jungle, and Tidehunter farms the dangerous lanes. That should be your entire game right now. You don't have a smoke in your inventory, Clock doesn't have a smoke in his inventory, and you guys aren't even trying to gank. Like, OD is probably pretty strong right now, but you guys aren't using him at all. And OD probably ganks a lot better than the Faceless Void does, off of his chrono timer. Yeah, forcing this tier 1 tower is a mistake. You guys don't have a pickoff. That's... wow. Can't believe that's going to work out well. Oh, those cogs fucked you over. It's a good thing Terrorblade stole your health right there. That's convenient, actually. But this doesn't feel great. I mean, I'm kind of surprised you guys got those first 3. Now you got to get out with whatever you got left. Yeah, stun. You got to stun just to save the... yeah, there you go. That's worth it. You know, yeah, you're gonna die, but you save the Tidehunter at that point, and the Tidehunter is, you know, basically your top net worth. So, and pretty crucial for you guys staying alive. You pop in the wand charges again. You got to stop doing that. Just die and let them kill you, and save those wand charges. They're more vulnerable on the back end when you have 10 charges next fight instead of 2 or 4 charges, something like that. Alrighty. So you're looking around. You still don't have arcane boots this late, which is bad. You know, and if you hadn't bought the magic wand and this was still a stick, you would have your arcane boots. So that's why I keep trying to recommend that you don't get the extra pieces for this. You know, yeah, you do buy the branches early for the stats, but that's not fantastic either. It's a nice freebie. Okay, so I can miss hook shots, everyone goes back. Buff your Terrorblade while you walk past them. Where's your camera going? Like every time you see your Terrorblade jungling, you need to be using Bloodlust on him. Okay. So that guy's got a Hawk there. Alright, so he's ready to deny the tower. Deny the tower. You need to deny this tower. Holy crap. Yeah, no, he's gone. Beastmaster fucking went into the trees and then TP'd out because he saw the fucking clock hitting the damn clock that gave vision. You guys need to deny that tower. That's a huge amount of golden experience, and it's a really big deal. A lot of like pro players will risk dying just to deny a tower from the enemy. The supports will, of course. But yeah, you guys are doing a whole lot of nothing right now. This is when you need to be. That's good. Use the Bloodlust on him. This is when you guys need to be looking for a gank. Okay, Clock is deep in enemy territory for some reason by himself. So like if he's going to go ward or offensively or whatever that was, you need to go with him. You're just like wandering at this point. You're not doing anything useful. You're hanging out in the back waiting for one of your guys to get ganked or something, which is possible. But you really got to be there if Clock is going to either offensively ward or if you guys are looking for a pickoff. Clock definitely can't get a pickoff on anybody by himself. Like, there's no one that Clock solo kills at this point. I guess I'd be very surprised if he got stun. Where's your stun? Use that stun. You're holding stun for no reason. You need to use your stun. Holy crap, that was super late. Okay. Pop that. Yeah, go in a different direction and try and bait them on you. Okay, it's unfortunate. Clock missed that one. Okay. Bloodlust the clock. Bloodlust clock. Bloodlust clock. Stop trying to right-click yourself. Remember, your right-clicks are like the last measure of whether or not you guys can do Okay, so you bloodlusted yourself again, not the clock. You got the slow forward. That's nice. That was, I don't know why the hell he did that. Thought he had like burn a little bit of mana or something. Okay, I mean the Faceless Void just used his Time Walk, so it's not like he had Time Walk again, but whatever. This is bad. You guys need to back. Like you got the Faceless Void for free because the fight went so long and he was deep, but this is weird. Like their whole team is coming back right now. You guys are feeding hard. You need to TP right now. Just hide in those trees and TP. Why would you even walk back out? Okay, so that was terrible play all the way around. You guys got the kill on the Faceless Void, which was nice. You guys chased the Jakiro back into his own jungle when his whole team was respawning, and then you were hiding behind the trees there, so you actually had a spot where you could TP out if they didn't have a ward on the other side, and then you body blocked the clock and then got both you killed. So that was really weird, but that worked out extremely poorly. Yeah, wow. Alright, so you got the book. Fine, what's everyone else's levels? Okay, you and Clock are both 11, that's fine. You guys are broke as hell. You still got a tango from the Hellenian stage. That's funny. Alright, you need a smoke. And I really hope one of you guys considers buying a fucking Glimmer Cape, considering how much magic damage there is. That's going to be a big thing. There's a neutral item in the stash. What is it? What's the extra neutral? Okay, that's not one you should get. So your pupil's gift is fine. Oh, you need to keep this fucking shovel though. You need to alternate the shovel in and out of your inventory and fucking use that to get free salves and bounty runes and shit. Like this shovel should stay in your inventory for the rest of the game. You should be swapping your your neutral items out every time nothing's going on. Because otherwise it, it takes up a backpack spot, but you're fucking Ogre. You're not going to have any items, so you don't need your backpack spots. Or you shouldn't. It's a nice D-ward here. Alright, you guys are going in forced D-ward, that's good. Gives you a way to get back out. But you have to get out relatively soon or form back up with your 2 cores. Looks like they're coming up slowly, but they're a little far behind. Yeah, you're walking within vision of the shrine now. So if you're going to be in this area, try to walk a little bit further away from that shrine. The shrine has really short vision, actually. So if you just kind of are careful about how far you're stepping, you can actually just walk around the shrine in this area the entire time, and they won't see you. It's a really short vision radius. Okay, this is good. You guys are kind of backing out here a little bit, but yeah, they're hunting you at the zoo. Okay. That's I can see where that hook shot went. Okay, that's good. You got the Void for the OD. OD's buying back, but he doesn't have a shrine to TP to. So he's got a little bit of a walk. Okay. You gotta get that Fire Blast off. You're like just a little out of range. There you go. Okay, you're all back. That's fine. That's not bad. I don't know why the OD felt pressured to buy back, but unfortunately, the TP point was so far down here that it wasn't gonna get to the fight in time for them to decide not to back. Like they weren't really committed. This is weird though that you guys haven't been in for this shove right now. Like you guys are really low. Tide doesn't have his mech or anything. Or how the hell did it select that? I clicked on Tide. Nope. No mech on the Tide. It's going straight pipe first. Okay. Not the worst. Don't mind that a bit. Okay, but now you guys are back to just passive farming. You have okay across the way vision, so you do see a little bit of their farming too, but like what are you doing here? You're just hanging out. You're soaking XP from the camps they are getting. This will be a good freebie. That's probably one of the better clockwork hook shots so far. And that's great. Yep, you guys baited out Hacker Pyre, you got a free kill. I would back out at this point and just go back to farming for a sec, give you some space. Parablade's across the river by himself, so you need to be closer to this guy. This guy just invaded by himself in the mid lane. You guys are way too far to help him. It worked out because no one was there, but if Invoker and Beastmaster are there together, Terrorblade is dead. No smokes at all. Like, you should have bought several. Like, these smokes, you don't start getting a new one. Like, it doesn't start regenerating until you buy the first one. So like you don't buy this and then a third one immediately pops up in the inventory, then the timer starts to get one. So the longer you wait to buy your first smoke, the fewer you're going to have all game long, because you know, the timer doesn't start. Does Clockwork have a smoke? No, neither of you guys are smoking, which is terrible because you, Clock, and OD absolutely need to gank, giving you know, Terrorblade time to basically AFK power farm. A lot of good D wards on the sentries, and they're buying a lot of sentries, but I feel like you're trying to keep up, so that's nice. You're not doing terribly with that, but you really need to go get some smokes in. You need to secure that double damage room. Why would he deny that? Who was about to steal that from him? What the hell was that? See, he doesn't have a bottle, but still, just having the double damage would have been nice. That was weird. Hey, you are up to over 10 charges. That's nice. 26 minutes in. Not that that would have been a 4-staff, but whatever. Yeah, you're just wandering. Like, nothing's happening right now. You're not stacking. You're not body blocking for, you know, a gank. You know, if you want a gank tank, that's good. You know, stay. Okay, yeah, you need to be on this side, and you need to be the person that dies first in the gank. That was actually lucky that he pushed you back. This looks like it's going okay. Not as much anymore. Get ready to stun. You need to stun instantly. You need to stun real quick. Where's that stun? Holy crap, there you go. That worked. You let him get one extra time walk off. Maybe a little harder, but that fight overall works out okay. It is good that you were the person that the Beastmaster ran into. So somehow you were in the middle of the fucking pack, and Beastmaster still initiated on you, which is crazy. Because if you were like on the edge of that farming area, you would have gotten, you know, hit by the breaking smoke first, and then they would have had to have gone on you. But somehow that worked out nice. Give your Tidehunter a clarity. So nothing's happening right here. You got maybe 10 seconds before another fight starts to break. There you go, you did. Okay, good stuff. And now you're up to 20 charges, so that's good stuff. This isn't terrible. Looks like you're going to go for offensive vision here, even though Tide is like by himself. That felt a little close. Okay, so that was just outside of range. That wasn't close. So now you guys have really committed hard to vision here. You put 3 observer wards and 3 sentry wards, or 2 sentry wards, in a really close knot right here. So you see all of this perfectly, which is good if that works out. This is bad. This is not a good time to go rushing. I understand you guys have vision. I just talked about how you had good vision. You see they're all on top of this cliff. This is not a good spot to rush. You don't have Ravage. You don't have Sandy's Eclipse. Faceless Void is back up. I don't know what you guys probably figured the timing is on this Aegis, but this is not good. You guys need to back out and reset. Alright, so no one dies here. This is actually a good point to smoke out and go around and catch them on the backside. So they only took out 1 of your 3 wards, which is good. So it's the closest one, which is bad, but you know, you do have some vision. Okay, so now they took out 2. Now you know that they got to be doing something. They're roaching here. Did Clockwork just flare that? Okay, yeah, he flared up there, so you guys saw that they're still in the air. You need to go in. They're now taking the Aegis that you guys were trying to go for and have completely given up on. You guys can't be AFK farming. You need to smoke around and get Jakiro from the top and then basically kill, you know, the rest of the team from the high ground. So that was a huge strategic mistake. You know, it's good that you backed out of the pit, but after you back out and you see that they're going in, you need to group up, smoke, and flank. You have your Ravage, you got the hook shot, you know, everyone's basically full health. That was the time to take the fight, especially since Faceless Void still shouldn't have his Chrono, or maybe it's just about coming back up now, because he used it pretty early on that other fight. But you guys missed a huge opportunity there, and not having the Aegis for Terrorblade is probably game losing in this draft. Like, against the Faceless Void, Terrorblade needs to have the Aegis. So this is not looking good. Now you guys are just going to run right at them in their face, because you guys like to do that. You know, they see all 4 of you right there. You guys are just going to run right at them. You gotta go stun. You gotta use your stun before you take care of that sentry. That sentry's still going to be there after you stun. There you go. That wasn't a bad Ravage. Let's see the Void. So yeah, that worked out really nicely. Somehow you managed to kill, or you managed to find 3 of their heroes, and none of them was the Void. So that worked out really well. That was probably as good of a fight as you guys could have hoped for. And that's from running straight uphill without even smoking. That's interesting. Alright, so you're still working on Force Staff, that's good. There you go. You guys are all hitting it, you buff somebody, so that's good stuff. You kill this, you guys should go for the shrine. This is not a spot to high ground. This is dumb. This is dumb. You guys need to back right now. Chrono is like 100% up. Like there's no way Chrono can be down right now. They're gonna Chrono and kiss, and Chrono plus kisses is gonna fuck over this whole group right here. I don't know why you guys are staying. This is bad. This is bad. Where's the back call? Okay, you guys took a tower and then finally backed. That's all right. That's interesting. You guys TP'd like right there in full vision too. You guys got to learn to walk around a group of trees before doing that TP, because if they can see you across the way, that's perfect for the Faceless Void to come in and just chrono the Terrorblade as his whole team is TPing out. Because basically some of them TP out and they complete, some of them cancel, and you guys are fucked in like a 2v5 fight where Terrorblade is already chronoed. So you guys gotta back out together and not just instantly start TPing out like that. And you really should have gotten the fucking shrine. That was a perfect opportunity for you to take the top lane shrine and start putting pressure on the top tier 2. I don't know why you guys took the mid tier 2 first. Unfortunately that's just the way it worked out with you guys taking the fight in that spot and having the good sort of kill at the the top of these stairs right here. But you really need to start putting pressure on this top lane here. I'm surprised you haven't lost your bottom tier 2 or even had that pressured, but you guys have been fighting probably a little more than you guys planned on or wanted to. You sitting here behind the Terrorblade isn't the worst thing in the world. You do have your Force Staff now. You're going for Aether Lens. Okay, I don't hate that. You are going to pull it out of the... I assume you're going to disassemble the Arcane Boots and use that as half the gold for your Aether Lens, but really like to see a Glimmer Cape. Does Clockwork have a Force yet? Wow, Clockwork never went Force and went Spirit Vessel. Okay. I don't hate the Spirit Vessel, but Clockwork really needs a Force Staff here. But, we'll talk about that later. It's not his review. You finally have a smoke. Okay, 32 minutes in the game. This is the first Smoke of Deceit that I've seen. That's probably like 18 minutes late at the best. And potentially like 30 minutes late. But better late than never. So this is your gank team. Smoke right now. Smoke right now, and then go out, drop some D-wards as you're going. But if you, OD, and Clock see anyone in this bottom jungle area, you zip in, you kill them. Clockwork hook shots in, and the rest of you guys get a free kill. That's your gank team right there, and you not using the smoke to set them up is kind of a screw up. Take back this shrine, that's fine. No big deal. But the problem is, if you guys try and smoke now and go into the enemy jungle, it's much more likely that you're going to run into 2 or 3 of them, or maybe even 4, as opposed to in your own jungle, you probably are only going to run into 1 or 2. So now any sort of a smoke movement is going to be riskier in terms of running into too many people, because they're probably not spreading out too much at this point. They're probably ready to close out the game and take some decisive team fights before Terrorblade super farms. Because they probably know Terrorblade doesn't have diddly dick as far as farm right now. His items are a little weak. It's actually second in net worth. What items does he have? BKB, Manta. Okay. Don't mind that. Going for Scotty. No Dragon Lance, no Hurricane Pike. So he's relying just on the BKB. The problem with that is they have 2 BKB piercing stuns, the Chrono and the Beastmaster Roar. So it's just not great. It's not a great BKB game, really, because you still have multiple things that pierce through. And of course, Chrono and the Roar are both going to be prioritized on the Terrorblade. Like OD is not a bad target for those, but Terrorblade is really the prime victim for that kind of thing. All right, so you guys are going up here. Tide is too far. You guys are not backing him up. You guys are dancing around. Everyone needs to go in. Tide is about to ravage, it looks like. And you guys are way out of position. Okay, so there's the Faceless Void on the left. You guys aren't turning back for the Void. What's going on? Okay, that doesn't look great. Everyone's dancing for Cataclysm. Ravage only hits 2. It's not fantastic. You die quickly. Everything goes badly. I'm still kind of doing these fights from the team perspective. So actually, let's just go back and watch how that fight breaks from the Ogre. Because I'm actually going to watch this fight 5 fucking times. So might as well see how you did it. Okay, so you buff somebody without throwing the Ignite. That's a shame. You really need to basically Force Staff yourself in there and stun someone. You not getting that early fucking stun or slow was devastating. So yeah, really the way that should have worked is as soon as Tide was coming up this side here and you saw people, you should not have turned around and boosted the OD with Bloodlust. You should have force-staffed yourself in and stunned one so that you guys have a catch. But now the fight's over to you. We gotta wait for you to respawn. A lot more mangoes, that's interesting. Philosopher's Stone while you're dead, that's a good choice. Or just a little bit of free passive gold. Yeah, there's not much you can do. Did you Bloodlust the tower? Can't tell if you did. Looks like you did. Shooting kind of slow, I'm not sure. Oh, Tide. You Bloodlusted Tide. Okay, so in a tower defense situation like that, always prioritize putting Bloodlust on the tower and not someone like a Tide Hunter. You know, maybe if that was a troll or something, then that would make sense, but Tide Hunter's not right-clicking them to death. And keep Bloodlust just constantly. Like you're at the point where you have so much mana that like your entire kit costs, what, 300 mana? And you got way more than that. Plus Arcane Boots, plus Mangoes. You should be Bloodlusting every time it's off cooldown. And you can actually set it to auto-cast so that if you start forgetting, it will just auto-cast onto whoever the closest fucking person is. That can sometimes be problematic because it'll just like randomly Bloodlust creeps and shit, but it's still not terrible. Okay, you guys know Chrono's down. This is a good spot for a fight. You need to stun. Okay, he's got BKB. You guys only have one target. That's not great. Use this Metamorphosis to run in. I think he used it on the Terrorblade. This is risky. That ward was pretty low value right now, but okay. This is not looking great here. You got a Force Staff in and stun. You have not gotten any use out of this Force Staff. Stun. There you go. You got one stun. You really have to use the Force Staff either offensively or defensively. It doesn't really matter, but you just use it for something. I think you save it like for when you're running away in a chase scenario and you want to like force yourself over a cliff, but that's not the best use of it here. And in a situation like this, you want to run in and start tanking. You need to tank some of that damage so that your cores aren't dying first. So in those fights, the fight is happening over here. You're just like standing on the outside. You cast your Ignite, you cast your Fire Blast, you cast Bloodlust, and then you stand here and you dance in the back. That's not your job at all. You are the secondary tank. Tide Hunter goes in, he's the first tank. You need to be the other tank. Once Tide Hunter gets chewed through, once you get chewed through, then they can start going for the Terrorblade. But the problem is they're beating up on the Terrorblade and the OD while you're hiding behind them. If OD and Terrorblade die, you are worthless by yourself in the backline. You need to not be in the backline. You need to throw yourself right in the middle and basically soak up as much damage as you can. And that gives Clockwork more time to disable, OD more time to disable and damage, and Terrorblade more time to damage and get his BKB off or whatever. You should be the second person dying in every fight. And if they don't focus the Tide Hunter, which they shouldn't be, then you should actually be the first person dying. Once Tide goes in and ravages and Clock zips in to try and like isolate someone on the back, you need to just run at Faceless Void and basically try and like look him in the face and bear hug him and block him from running up and beating the shit out of your Terrorblade. And that is your only purpose. If you are not dying first or second or maybe third in the fight, you have really screwed up your role as the P5 here, especially as a P5 Ogre. You throw your 3 spells and that's it. Like you're done. That's it. You got what, 14, 15 seconds, 8 seconds. You don't have time to wait 15 seconds for a second Ignite. The fight will be decided in 15 seconds. You need to run in and do something. And that's probably a great use for your Force Staff, which I don't think has been actively cast this entire game. But really, I want to see you use your Force Staff to initiate. Like, Force Staff up and then catch someone with it and use it as a stun. And that way Clockwork has a permanently or an immobilized target to go for. He doesn't have to worry about missing his hook shot on. Buff the tower, that's good. Ignite, stun. You probably have the luxury of stunning there. You don't have to back out immediately, but whatever. Not a big deal. Force Staff one of these guys towards you, and that way it screws him over. You can use the Force Staff on an enemy offensively to put him out of position. Okay, he's already dead. There's no reason for you to stun him. He's already dead. That was a waste. You keep eating more mangoes than you need to. So you like to eat mangoes in like groups of 2 or 3. This is not great. Stun. Use that stun. Really got to use that stun faster. And you need to change your neutral. As soon as you spawn back, you should have put the Philosopher's Stone away and gotten your Pupil's Gift. That would give you a lot more life. Alright, so you did use a Force Staff somehow there. Not sure how, but whatever. Alright, just Bloodlust somebody. You're about to die, doesn't matter. Rotate this Philosopher's Stone out. You need to be careful about, yeah, there you go, about spawning with Philosopher's Stone and then using it to come out. You really don't want to use that in a fight. That is only for when you're dead or like the enemy team has been team wiped and there's no chance of an engagement happening. Alright, so this isn't bad. Move your clarity up. You know, there's no reason for it to be in the dead space. You're not getting any of these items anytime soon. You guys should be looking for an objective that isn't a tier 3 shut. You should be looking for a Roche and then a Shrine. You guys going for the Roche pit right now? Looked like there was a fucking Aegis in there. Did you guys check? Was it empty? I thought I saw the white dot on the map. That's weird as shit, but I guess it is empty. You need to stand in there or put your courier in there. You don't have a lot of time, but... Well, okay, I guess you're going to ward a little bit more, but... Someone needs to be watching that fucking Aegis. This is not going well, because it looks like it's going to be up now, right? There's no timer here. This thing is fucking up. You guys are dancing around an inhabited pit. Terrorblade's up now. You know, you either go for the Roche now, or you smoke, go for a kill, and then come back for a Roche. And I actually like that plan better. Like right there, Force Staff. Oh man, that was an easy kill. You Force Staff up, you stun the Beastmaster, and then OD blinks in and Astrals in, and you got a free kill. And the rest of the team is not close by. Oh wow, Clockwork is going to suicide. Yeah, so you can get a Shrine. That is a terrible trade. Yeah. I mean, even if you got the Shrine, you would have lost it immediately afterwards. I don't know why Clock zipped in like that. Once you didn't fucking get the Faceless Void there, or the Beastmaster, once you saw him and didn't stun him, it's too late for the Clock to try. Because the rest of his team is already responding to that movement. So now you're missing Clock for the Roche fight. You know, they're probably in there taking the Roche pit. You guys are pinging it, so you know it's happening. But you guys have fucked up already, and so now you're way out of position, and you're going to lose another Aegis in a game where you guys absolutely need the fucking Aegis. So this is not good. Good defensive wards, I guess, but yeah, you're fucked. Just run away. It's not even worth you trying to go for that sentry. Like how much value do you think you got out of that? Okay, low value Force Staff. I don't know why you turned around. You like Force Staffed yourself over and then turned around to look at him. And then you walked into that ice path. You could have, it looks like you could have walked around that ice path. There's more ground up there on that high side. Nice that your team showed up a little bit to help you. Freebie on the Jakiro, that's good. So why don't you turn around and just kill that fucking wolf? There you go. Where are the smokes? You bought this smoke at 32 minutes and you still haven't used it. Like, so your safe lane small camp equilibrium is terrible, and smoke usage is terrible. Those are probably like the two big glaring issues in the P5 replay for this game, and probably for the season. You really don't do well maintaining creep pulls and camps, and you guys really don't smoke, like at all. Like, I don't understand it, but there are just no smokes when you guys have plenty of chances. Like, why even buy it? Like, when would you use it, ideally? Like, after getting an Aegis and running out? Maybe that's an okay spot, but you guys don't have that luxury. You've been losing every Aegis. And you don't need to be standing back here. So nothing's going on here. You really aren't doing much. There's enough people on the team here that if a fight breaks out, someone has another disable to stop. So if you want to be in this area to do that, you need to be on the front edge so that you can gank tank. Alright? There's a smoke. No one was showing in lane or anything. Lane's not really pushed out, so this is risky, but okay. You guys are gonna run uphill. Clock needs to be in front. I don't know why you guys are like dancing around in a ball there. Okay, this is gonna break. Your smoke's gonna break any second now. Clock needs to be in front. Okay. Clock should also be throwing fucking flares to help you guys see. And now Clock is out of position. Rest of his team is turning around, and they saw you guys basically fail at that. Alright, so it was a good attempt. You guys had the right idea. Clock should have been first, and you guys should have had a clear path that you were going to go through. You guys kind of waffled and went around in two different directions, and that didn't work out well. That was a waste of a Spirit Russian charge, but whatever. Alright, so you guys are back to farming a little bit. Terrorblade has fallen to 4th place in farm. Just crazy. what are you going for item-wise? You're going for Tranquil Boots after you disassemble your fucking Aether Lens. It's not fantastic, but whatever. I mean, you're not going to be in a position where you really have enough time for the Tranquils to kick in. A little bit of movement speed is magic AoE damage. Get in there. Run up over this side. You need to be over on this corner. There's no reason for you to be here in the backside. You gotta use your stun, use your stuff. Stop running away. Like, you're going to die. That's your job in the team fight. I don't understand why you keep running away. Pop your spells, pop your magic stick, and then go die. You know, you have to take a little bit of damage so that it keeps your Terror Blade a couple hits away and you can stun her. Okay. And that was just all around. Whatever. So there are certain P5s that don't have a lot of value in the fight. You know, like if you were a Bane or if you were an Oracle, then there's definitely a good reason for you to stay behind. But as an Ogre, you really want to get in there and be that extra tank for your team. You know, that's a lot of your value as an Ogre. You're not just a walking stun, ignite, bloodlust bot. When nothing's happening, you are, and you shouldn't be farming, you know, over your cores. But, you know, in the middle of a team fight, you got to do all your spells and then run in. Yeah, Ogre did some damage to you. That's what he's going to do. But it's better that he does 1900 damage to you than 1900 to the Terror Blade or the OD. You know, some of it's AoE, and you know, it's a good idea to sidestep it just to avoid it because, you know, it's ground targeted. But a lot of it isn't. You know, the Faceless Void is not ground targeted. You know, and you'd really rather see like a fucking halberd or something. Aether Lens, you know, with the Aether Lens, you're just going to continue to stay out in the back. You're going to continue to hide in the back lines and throw spells from even longer range and try not to get into the fight. But really, you got to tank. You have to tank hard because you're putting a lot of effort on, or a lot of demand on the Tidehunter to be the one tank. Because Clockwork's not tanking. He's trying to zip into the back and he's trying to disable someone and really, you know, make the fight 4v4, but by picking someone who's more beneficial to their team than he is to your team. You know, you're not using the Clockwork as a ganker or anything, so, or an initiator, really. All right, so what's the next item? I hope it's Glimmer Cape. Glimmer Cape wouldn't be bad. A halberd wouldn't be bad. A Lotus Orb would take forever, but wouldn't be terrible. I mean, a fucking Meteor Hammer would be something. Like, what are you buying right now? There's nothing in your quick buy. You haven't decided at all. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so they have all their spells, you guys have all your spells, you don't have Insanity. Okay, now you do. You got 5 seconds. So you guys have all your spells, they have all their spells. It's a risky time because their one spell that decides whether or not they win the fight is the Chrono. Like, if they Chrono and then everyone else dumps their magic damage shit onto the Chrono, you lose the fight if there's, you know, 2 important people in there. You guys having all your spells means you need to try and dictate these fights. You don't want to be... I don't know what you're doing right now, but the rest of your team is pressuring to tier 2, so this is weird. If you're going to be down here, your team needs to back out. You guys can't go pressure tier 2 with no pickoffs, no vision, and defending your high ground from being run at by creeps. Like, whatever your team is doing is silly. Because they're basically asking to get chronoed while someone isn't there and basically take a 4v5. Even if you guys do manage to get that tower, okay, that was very risky, and I don't think it was worth it at all. Everyone had to be up there. No one was farming these jungle camps, no one was farming this wave. Ogre is fucking farming the wave that's pushing into your high ground. That's very weird play. Okay, rest of your team is going on somebody. You're just hitting the creeps here. You need to just throw another stun and run. You gotta get back with your team. Don't be afraid to use stun just to help nuke a wave down. Like, your stun does enough damage to be able to do that. And there's no reason to sit there and wait for Fire Blast and not use stun. Stun has a shorter cooldown than Ignite, so when you get to the fight, if your Ignite was off, your stun's going to be, you know, off as well. Or coming back even sooner. Yeah, it's silly. You've got to use stun to clear waves. You need to use both fucking spells. Well, I mean, you're using Bloodlust, but you also need to use stun. You know, you have so much fucking mana that you don't need it. Cooldown is short, your mana pool is huge. use both spells, nuke the wave, and get back to your team. Alright, everyone's hiding here, back here, and you should be looking for a smoke out. You guys are about to get strangled, and if you let them strangle you, then you're just going to lose the tower from long range to Jakiro, while, you know, Faceless Void patiently waits outside looking for a good chrono spot. You really want to loop around them and get them in the back so that you can knock out 2 or 3 people before Faceless Void even drops the chrono. You do not have a siege defense team. You don't have a tinker, you don't have a sniper, you don't have something like that. Someone just zipped in. What the fuck? Okay, so Tide Hunter is way out of position. Whole team's not paying attention. You guys aren't doing anything. Okay, good for staff to bring him back, but they need to stun. Okay, good stun. Basically stunned him for half the duration of the chrono. That's good. You got a lot of wards, but you didn't put any on this fucking tower here, and you guys have lost the fight anyway. Alright, so that was game losing. Yep, you guys are all dead. Alright, so that is the replay analysis for the Ogre. I'd say the big things to focus on is the 2 creep camps in the middle. And I'm really telling you, you got to treat this as a rule from now on. I don't know why you guys, you know, sometimes do it, sometimes don't. The first 2 observer wards, one goes to mid, the other one blocks the enemy hard camp every time. Like, no matter what, that's you shouldn't even, you know, debate it or negotiate or whatever. I'm about to see what Clock did with the other observer ward, but I'm sure it didn't do anything. I'm sure it sucked. And so you guys lost your chance to block their camp. They pulled into it a couple times. You pulled from it a few times, but you also really need to focus on the small camp. You didn't even realize it was missing until like the 5-minute mark, and you should have pulled it or stacked it 3 times by then. You stand in the middle of the lane and leech XP from your carry, and that's not helpful. Occasionally you're taking last hit farms and you're igniting like creep camps in the jungle when everyone on the team is scrambling to try and find a jungle camp to farm in the mid game. You know, figure by the 30-minute mark, if everyone is just kind of standing around waiting for a jungle camp to spawn, none of those are yours. You know, it's the lowest farm priority person on the team. You shouldn't be trying to stack those. You got to try and put more XP and more farm onto your P1. And really, if you're getting 6 before the 10-minute mark, you leached, either you guys had a fantastic lane and they fed you like 5 times, or you leached way too much XP from your P1. Or you did like an unbelievably amazing job of pulling, and you somehow like pulled every single camp, and you know Terrorblade got all their waves, and you got like all the neutral camps somehow. But otherwise, you know, if you keep getting like level 6 at like the 8-minute mark, then something's wrong, and you gotta look at why that is. Mid game, I would rethink the itemization a little bit. You got very little value out of the Aether Lens. You should have gotten a lot of value out of the Force Staff, but you didn't use it a lot. The Tranquil Boots was a waste at that point. You know, there's no reason to go back for that tiny little bit of movement speed. You know, you're not moving much in the fights anyway, and then you don't have time to let it passively regen. So that was a little bit of wasted gold. You guys did buy a lot of wards, so I don't know what your ward count was, but you did have an awful lot of sentries and observers. So I think you are, oh, excuse me, buying more sentries than you used to, and I used to keep harping on you to buy more of those. So if you guys are actually keeping this shop out of sentries and you're not letting it get to 10 sentries and all that, then that's a really good improvement. You should keep that up. Really check what's going on in the first minute of the game. Don't let the enemy P4 block your small camp and you not even notice. Like, if he's going to block the small camp, you should watch him and chase him the whole time, and you should have a pretty good idea of where that blocking ward is. Every time you guys like to sit in the trees behind your tier 1 tower and have absolutely no idea what's going on in your jungle. That's not a good way to start the game. Stop completing the magic stick into a magic wand early. That extra, was it 250 gold or something, might get you to your first medium item sooner than you actually are going to get 20 plus charges on the stick. And then try not to pop the stick when you're about to die anyway, because you know, you're like 3 hits away from dying, and there's no way you're going to escape. Just save it for the next one. And that is about, oh, and smoke like 20 times more than you are now. So buy an early smoke. You know, your first smoke should be purchased at like the 8-minute mark or so, and then you guys should be looking to smoke at the last little bit of nighttime. And then when daylight pops, they say, oh, you know, we can see really far and we're clear and we're safe. And then you guys pop out of nowhere because you were actually smoked, and even though you're within vision, and you get a great kill at like the the 10-minute mark as the enemy's posturing to take the second bounty rooms. But you guys aren't smoking well at all. There was one smoke. You bought one at 32 minutes. I think you didn't even use it till like 40 some minutes. So that was way too infrequent, way too late. Control your team's Aegis rotations and timings. There were a couple times where you guys were shoving the lane really hard when the enemy team was respawning, and you need to control your team. You as the captain in the P5, you dictate everything the team does. And if someone complains that, oh, you're micromanaging us, well, no, you're just not fucking playing well. And someone has to, basically make sure that the whole team does the same thing all together efficiently. And so it's not micromanaging to make the important calls that keep everyone together, keep people in the right spot for fights, and decide, big tempo things. Try to play around enemy spells and your spell timing. So there's a lot of times where you guys knew Chrono was down and you didn't force a fight, and there's a lot of times where you guys got caught into a fight while Ravage was still down or something like that. So try and, again, micromanage. Try and fucking demand that your team, lets you know what their item builds are and what their timings are and what their ult respawn counters are. Just ask them for a how much time left on Ravage. The guy will ping it so it shows you on the text channel how many seconds left, and then that way it just gives you an idea of how to play around, and you really need to sort of dictate the control and then the flow of your team, because if you guys keep playing like a pub stack, you're not going to do so great when it comes to a team that has like slightly finer movements around each other, and one person on that team is calling very precise initiations. In the team fights, it felt a little like the team didn't understand what the order of play was, and so you guys have to know that right off the bat. Like, you have to have already decided, when we go in for a team fight, Clockwork is up front and he zips in and initiates, or Tidehunter's up front and he just blinks in and ravages, or whatever you want your game plan to be. You need to pick one, and then everyone needs to basically prep for that. So when you guys smoke, you guys should leave the smoke in a certain order, and your initiator should be the first guy running out of the smoke cloud, and then whoever the like the carry should be probably in the middle or towards the back. You don't want the Terrorblade up in the front of the smoke so that he pops first and then he actually gets roared by the Beastmaster, who just panic ults him. You really need to discuss in team fights when you have some downtime, hey, this is what I want the game plan to be, and this is the order that you're all going to cast your spells. And then you guys have to be real sharp on your communications afterwards, because some point in that fight, I'm going to either A, pick a target, I'm going to name an enemy hero, and we're all going to target that person, or B, I'm going to say back, and we're all going to disengage. And if you don't have real good command presence, you don't have a loud authoritative voice, you're not sort of basically yelling down your team, because sometimes they're yelling you down, then those communications aren't going to go through, and you guys are just going to kind of do whatever, and Tidehunter's going to blink in and start a fight by himself too early, or Clock is going to go in for a fight too early, and the rest of the team is going to realize what's going on. And even though you have a winnable draft lineup, you don't play it in any way that has a chance of winning. So that's all about that. Yeah, we'll move on to the P4.